The Dorado County Museum and Channel 2 are pleased to present this program as part of the series Touch.
Agriculture began in El Dorado County soon after the discovery of gold at Coloma. Farmers who left their homes in search for gold soon discovered providing fresh produce and wine to the miners could be more lucrative than mining. Fruit was a crop well suited to the climate and soil of El Dorado County, and production was underway by the latter half of the 1850s. Orchards and vineyards were found throughout the populated areas of the western slope. Old mining ditches were converted to irrigation, bringing water to otherwise dry areas. Many small pear orchards were planted by the 49ers, and pears became the county's major orchard crop. In the 1950s, El Dorado County was the largest pear growing and wholesale region in the western United States, and the Placerville fruit growers had the most modern facility. However, this wasn't to last. During the late summer of 1959, about 1,000 pear trees suddenly wilted and died. The cause was unknown. By 1963, 150 pear growers had been forced out of the business, and 1,700 acres of trees had been removed. In 1964, local farmers gathered together to develop ideas for the struggling area and decided to specialize in apples. Several growers were already focusing on apples that were considered some of the best grown in California. They formed the Apple Hill Growers Association to market their fruit directly to the public. What they needed was a way to get people up to their orchards to buy their apples. It was suggested that the ladies get together and bake their favorite apple desserts and invite the public to taste their baked goods as a kind of smorgasbord. Someone else suggested the name Apple Hill. These ideas were combined, and the first annual Apple Hill Smorgasbord was held. Invitations were sent out inviting families to visit the Apple Hill growers, have a family picnic, and sample the variety of desserts made with Apple Hill apples. Today, new apple varieties such as Gaeta, Fuji, Empire, and Honeycrisp have been added to the red, golden, and Romes that were offered at the start of Apple Hill. The 56 Apple Hill ranches are open by Labor Day for the first pick of the apple crop, bake shop treats, and fresh apple cider. Later ripening apples as well as pears, pumpkins, winter squash, persimmons, and nuts are harvested into the fall and available at Apple Hill. The wine industry also began in El Dorado County soon after the discovery of gold. By 1855, at least 3,000 vines were growing in the county. This number grew to nearly 1.5 million vines by 1866. In 1870, El Dorado County was the third largest wine producer in the state, following only Los Angeles and Sonoma counties. The first vineyard was near the town of Rescue, begun in 1849 by a Mr. Stevens. By 1854, it was owned by Jacob and Anton Zentgraf, German brothers who were selling wine by 1857. Zentgraf's residence is a large, handsome, and commodious building, 1.5 stories high. The front wine cellar is of stone masonry, walls fully 2 feet thick. The rear cellar is an arched tunnel, excavated from the solid bedrock. Over these is a large room containing the wine press, from which pipes lead the wine down into one or the other of the cellars as fast as it is pressed. James Skinner, a native of Scotland, established another vineyard and winery in the same general area in 1861. Even James Marshall, who pulled the first gold from the tail race of Sutter's sawmill, was engaged in the wine business. After spending several years prospecting, in 1857, on a hillside in Coloma, Marshall built a cabin. He terraced, planted vines, and dug a wine cellar into the hillside. By 1865, Marshall had planted more than 125 varieties. In 1863, Giovanni Lombardo purchased a ranch near Placerville, began terracing the hillside, and planting a vineyard. By 1870, his vineyard was in full production. His grandson, John Fossati, continued to produce wine until Prohibition. Today, the Boger Winery is the only surviving 19th century winery in the county. Due to Prohibition, between 1920 and 1960, viticulture in El Dorado County all but disappeared. In the 1960s, several experimental vineyards were planted. It was found that the county had a potential to produce fine quality wines, and the 1970s saw the rebirth of the wine industry. Today there are over 50 wineries producing some of the best California wines.